This video is how to set up your lab notebook for the titration lab. The titration lab is listed in Google Classroom. When you select that, you want to go back over the grading rubric that gives you all of the sections of the lab report, and you want to open the handout for the lab. On the top of the handout, the title is given, the objective is also given, and then the next section is going to be materials. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to scroll down and go to the procedure, read through the procedure, and pick out all of the different pieces of lab equipment that you're going to need. Most of them are given explicitly, like it says an Erlenmeyer flask here, and a graduated cylinder. It would be a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder if you're getting 100 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. So go down through your procedure to figure out what pieces of equipment you need. A burette is the piece of equipment that you're going to use for the titration. If you will watch the lesson on titrations before you set up your notebook, that would really be helpful so that you understand the steps of the procedure. After materials, you're going to do the background and theory section. To do that, you should read the introduction that's with your lab handout, and then you're going to want to make sure that you define quite a few terms. First would be acid and base. Those are going to be the two types of substances that we're neutralizing in this titration. You should define what a titration is and explain the basics on how to do that. That will be in the lesson on Tutori. The next thing that you should do is you should define what an indicator is, the end point, and the equivalence point. Now, to do our calculations, we're going to be using stoichiometry. So you want to define stoichiometry. You want to tell what a molar ratio is, and you want to be able to explain what a theoretical yield is. The other thing that you need to do is you need to scroll to the very end of the calculations, and you want to include these two formulas, the percentage error for the experiment and also the percentage yield. Those should be the terms that you need to do in your background and theory section. After you do that section, the next section is the hypothesis. In the hypothesis, we're going to do a prediction based on the formula that you have been given here in the introduction. This is the balanced equation for the reaction. It's sodium bicarbonate plus hydrochloric acid. That will neutralize to make sodium chloride and carbon dioxide and water. What you want to do is you want to calculate two things. We're going to be breaking an antacid tablet in half, and that should give you a mass of approximately 1.00 grams of this sodium bicarbonate. So assume that you're starting with 1.00 grams. Calculate how many grams of hydrochloric acid you should be needing to complete the reaction. So you want to use stoichiometry to calculate the grams of hydrochloric acid. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to calculate the theoretical yield. The theoretical yield will be for the sodium chloride. This is the molecule that we would best be able to collect. So I want you to predict how much sodium chloride should be in the solution when we finish the experiment. After you do the hypothesis, you're going to go straight into the procedure. The procedure is given here, and you need to just write procedure and write refer to lab handout. We will print this and we will attach it to your lab notebook. In the data and calculation section, you need to go ahead and draw out this table that I've given here so that you'll have somewhere to record your data. And then underneath the table, you need to leave room for calculations. I will be making a separate video that explains how to do the calculations, and you will pick up with that after you finish your experiment.